things are certainly looking bleak for Oklahoma because today was the worst shutout loss for Oklahoma in the series against Texas, and the third largest loss of any kind in school history. And it's not even mentioning Brent Venables is the first Oklahoma coach to debut 0-3 in conference play. And also, Oklahoma has lost more than 3 conference games 7 times in 108 years of conference play, which Southwest, Missouri Valley, Big 6, Big 7, Big 8, and Big 12. That's just insane to me. Their defense has a lot left to be desired as of this moment. Let's just say that is the for sure. Yeah. And can even Oklahoma win another game? Granted, I know they were without Dillon Gabriel today. I know they were. But I suppose he was warming up apparently too. So too bad they couldn't get him back. But that defense has a bunch of issues. 49 points allowed in a game. And that's not even mentioning the rushing yards and the passing yards allowed for the game. But to get shut out is terrible. And it's the first shutout loss for Oklahoma since 1998 in any game, period. And that was against Texas A&M. Oklahoma didn't give up 700 yards of offense like last week, but they gave up 585. Which 289 of those are passing, 296 on rushing. And Oklahoma had 195 yards of offense. 39 passing? That's terrible. And 156 rushing. And I'm going to go over who they got left. They got Kansas next week in Norman. Can Kansas really beat Oklahoma in Norman this year? It's certainly possible because Oklahoma's defense has a lot left to be desired. And granted, I know Kansas might not have Jalen Daniels because he got knocked out of the game today against TCU, and TCU won 38-31. And I will say, I did pick TCU to win the game, but you got to admit, on that 4th down play for Kansas offensively at the very end, that TCU defender held him up. One of those wide receivers. That should have been a play-on deal. So, yeah. We'll see on Jalen Daniels. I also know they were without one other guy. Likely for indefinitely a running back as well. But still, they got Kansas next week in Norman. Then they got Oklahoma. Then they got Iowa State in Ames. Iowa State's defense is good. It's just their offense I'm not sure about. They got Baylor at home. That's a losable game for Oklahoma now. West Virginia on the road. That's a losable game potentially, but I don't know because West Virginia's pass defense is not that good. And we'll have to wait and see on how long Dillon Gabriel's out. That's another thing to keep in mind. Oklahoma State in Norman. Oklahoma State's looking really good right now, but I think they're going to lose 2 conference games. And then you got Texas Tech and Lubbock. And Lubbock is a difficult place to play. And if that pass defense can't get fixed for Oklahoma by then, they have issues. Because that's an air raid team. So I just went over the schedule. And based on the facts, the fact of the matter is, Oklahoma's really down right now. 3-3 now. And they were a preseason top 10 team. And they had their fan base, they thought they were going to roll along and get to the playoff this year, or 11-1 on some of them, not all of them. Nope, you're not. And I did mention 8-4 could be worst case scenario. This could be 8-4 right here, or even 7-5. But you got to keep in mind, it's hard to become a new head coach when you've been an assistant for so long. So, anyways, I just want to break down how bad Oklahoma is recently and hit on historical context. And I just went over their schedule. There's no gimme games on there. Not necessarily any gimme games on there. Not necessarily. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. That's up to 400 subscribers or more by the end of this year.